Hare Ram Krishna, Hare Ram Krishna, Hare Ram Krishna. Good morning, friends. Today we are going to talk about the Saturn's transit over the natal sun. So, if the Saturn's transit happens over the natal sun, right now Saturn is going to enter Pisces on 19th of March 2025. It's going to stay there for 2.5 years. And in Pisces, if you have in your Janma Kundali Sun over there, if Sun is there, Pisces in your chart, then this entire lecture belongs to you. You have to see what lagna you are, because the actual result is going to differ for each and every ascendant. But in general, the results that we are going to see with Saturn and Sun, basically Sun is already over there in your natal chart and Saturn going over it to unlock certain aspects of Sun's karakatwas. So in this lecture we are going to look at that. First of all, let us understand what does the Sun mean in Pisces. So Pisces is the sign of Moksha Trikona. It's the last sign of Moksha Trikona. It's a 12th sign, which represents the liberation, complete liberation from this material world. And the out of all the 12 Adityas, it belongs to the Vishnu Aditya. Yes, Vishnu is also one of the 12 Adityas. He is the son of Aditi. And to understand what theme belongs over here, we have to remember the story of Vishnu Bhagwan when he takes the Vaman avatar and goes to Raja Bali for asking the three boons. So, despite Raja Bali knows that he is the Vishnu who he considers as enemy, but still to basically uphold the dharma that he has vowed for, he takes the sankalpa and he gives all his assets to Vishnu. So this is the theme which is going to be there, basically giving up everything without knowing, like despite knowing that somebody is your enemy, even if knowing that somebody is your enemy, giving away all your assets. And that brings, for the sake of righteousness, for the sake of humility and humbleness. That is the level of theme you will see over here when Sun is there in Pisces. And when Saturn goes over there, Saturn is the Karaka of 12th house. Saturn is the Karaka of humbleness and patience. It is the Karaka of humility. So you see, this aspect will accentuate for the people who have Sun in the Pisces in this in their Janma Kundali. So now let us look over all the what is the actual impact of this thing. So first of all, a generic impact that Saturn's transit over Sun has is that the person will no longer like his words will no longer count. Like his charm will not work. Um, he'll have to prove himself with his hard work and the might that this is what he can do. Like simply bluffing will not work. Like nobody will go at their face value. This is the time for hard work. So whatever new opportunity, there would be new opportunities which get unlocked when Saturn transits over Sun, but during this time his charm will not work. Like he cannot bluff and go on. He will have to work hard. That is for sure. Okay, but apart from this, what other things comes into picture, it will depend on the functional karakatwas, what Saturn lords over, what Sun lords over, and which house they are making this transit is making happening. So that result will basically discuss. So let's begin with Aries sign. So for Aries sign, Saturn is the lord of 10th house and 11th house. It's there in the 12th house. And Sun is the lord of 5th house, there in the 12th house. So they both are there in 12th house for Aries people, which is the house of sleep, house of loss, house of expenditures. So if you combine all the functional karakatwas, what result we can expect is basically there could be a lot of expenditure on account of basically uncontrolled expenditure on account of children. There is a possibility. There could be disruption in the sleep. The person may get sleeplessness on account of children or on account of some speculative idea like some stock market investment sort of thing, so, or over some lottery kind of thing. There could be loss of sleep over it. or that mental anxiety could be there because of that. There could be, if the person is spiritual minded, he's doing regular meditation, then during it is this time that he may get, uh, I cannot say that enlightenment like Raman Maharshi, but yes, he can make significant spiritual progress if Saturn he keeps in mind. So with Saturn, what I mean that if he makes a disciplined and intense approach in his meditation, in his vipassana, in his spiritual sadhana, whatever he does, so there is a chance of significant spiritual progress on that account. There could be loss of sleep because of demanding work, because Saturn lords the 10th house, and it can give the person a lot of hard work. And since there it is in the house of losses, there could be problems because of the loss of work also. Like he may lose the job, and because of that, he may get sleepless nights. There could be disease to the children because Sun is a lord of fifth house, and Saturn's transit over it would mean that some problem or suffering to the kids, and lots of wealth in the speculative business. So basically, in the stock market, in lottery, in bonds, in some risky financial assets, there could be loss because of 12th house involvement. Now coming to the Taurus sign. So for Taurus sign, Saturn is the Yoga Karak. It's a lord of ninth and 10th house. There in the 11th house, and Sun is the fourth house lord, present in the 11th house. So basically, the 11th house thing is going to be very good for these things. That means they will get lot of benefits. Okay, there will be labha. 11th house stands for labha. There will be lot of gains on account of the fourth house, which is house, property, real estate. And it won't be just the plain real estate, it will be Saturnine real estate, like ancestral property, some old house, or some second hand property. It's not new property, it's some second hand property would be there. So the person may be involved in renovating some old property. He'll purchase old property, he'll renovate it. Okay, that way he'll appreciate the value of that property. Sun is the fourth lord, representing mother. So there could be problem to the mother, some disease or suffering to the mother is possible, or there could be he may face distance from the mother, like there could be some misunderstanding between mother and the self on account of this transit. There could be gain of ancestral property, and the hard work will open the new opportunities because ninth lord is involved. So it's a fortunate transit, and but since Saturn is there, he won't give it for free. So if you show the hard work, then that fortune is unlocked over here. And completion of some pending education, uh, mostly higher education, because Saturn is the lord of ninth house, and involvement with the fourth house in the 11th house shows that the pending things will basically fruition related to higher studies. Then coming to the Gemini sign, so for Gemini people, Saturn is the lord of 8th and ninth house. They are in the 10th house, and Sun is the third lord in the 10th house. So showing that there could be a lot of travels related to work, and those travels will be very tiring because of Saturn's transit. Those travels will become very tiring. Initially, you may like it, but now it has become very tiring. I mean, you may not like it, and there could be change of jobs because eighth house involvement is there. Saturn is the lord of eighth house, which is for the change. So you may do lot of changes in the job during this time. There could be disease to the siblings because Sun represents the especially younger siblings, because Sun represents the younger siblings, and Saturn's transit over it makes some suffering to the sibling. It brings slow and thoughtful speech. So Sun represents the speech, and Saturnine quality over there will basically make the person speech very thoughtful and very slow. And Sun also represents the listening also. Okay, so he may start listening to very slow music, like some raga, Anand Bhairavi raga, which are very slow and soothing. That kind of music he may listen. He may also listen to some spiritual talks. Okay, Sun is very sattvic planet. Okay, so he may start listening to some spiritual talks, satsang or Vedanta. That kind of thing is possible. There could be deceased, there could be rust to the weapons and instruments. So third house represents the weapons and the instruments, that kind of thing. So it may get rusted because have been kept there for a long time, so it becomes rusted. That possibility is there. Coming to the Cancer sign. So for Cancer, it is the Lord of seventh and eighth house. There in the ninth house, and Sun is the Lord of second house. There in the ninth house. Okay, so Sun, it is a good transit because he loves to be there in the ninth house, and he represents the second house of food, of speech, of family. And Saturn's transit over it would mean that the person may get distance from his family. So there could be some misunderstanding with the family. So that distancing has occurred. Or to keep the family together, the person has to work hard, or the person has to bring in a lot of humility inside himself, lot of patience inside himself to bring the family together. That's one possibility. And Sun is the food, and Saturn's transit over it would mean that the person will have access to frozen or stale kind of food. He may be living far from the family and has access to only the frozen food or stale food. uh, it requires a lot of effort to keep the family together, and sudden turn of events is possible because now here uh, Saturn represents the eighth lord in the ninth house. So he may give lot of changes, lot of misfortune because of the eighth lord or lordship. Okay. um, And coming to the Leo sign, okay, for Leo sign, Sun is the Lagna Lord there in the eighth house of mystical experience, eighth house of giving light to where there is darkness, something which is deep hidden inside you. The eighth house Sun will bring light to that, and Saturn's transit over there will basically, from the spiritual perspective, what you can say is that the person, um, if the person is of a spiritual nature, he may like the devotional music or devotional song. If he gets involved in that kind of spiritual practice, he will get enlightenment, he will get some mystical experience because of involvement of eighth house, especially Saturn being the karaka of eighth house. Okay, the seventh and eighth house represent the dancing and singing aspect of worshipping the deity. So that angle is there. Also there will be lot of fear, like coming to the material plane, not the spiritual one. So in the material plane, the person may get a lot of fear in doing some new opportunity. There would be new opportunity, he knows that if he works hard he will get it, but he'll be filled with lot of fear because of eighth house negativity of Sun as well as the Saturn. And there could be distance between the couple. So there could be distance with the wife or spouse, because Sun is the self and Saturn is the spouse, and Saturn's transit in the eighth house over the Sun will bring the distance between the couple. There could be some misunderstanding with the couple also, and it will require a lot of discipline to basically treat the lifestyle disease. Okay, so Saturn seventh and eighth house connection is actually a Maraka connection. So that basically brings, um, also Saturn is the lord of sixth house. So house lord in the eighth house will diminish the existing diseases, but not for free. So Saturn wants you to become disciplined in what you eat, in how you behave, and how you make changes to your life, because eighth house is all about change. And Sun involved over there, Sun is the self. So in your life, in your you have to bring discipline to whatever you do during this time. That will basically bring the disease down. Okay, but there could be problem with the business partner, problem with the wife, that possibility is there. And loss of business due to own mistakes. Okay, because seventh house of doing the business is there in the eighth house, and that's also with the Lagna Lord. So because of own mistakes you could lose the business. Coming to Virgo. So for Virgo people, it is the fifth and sixth lord in the seventh house, and Sun is the 12th lord in the seventh house. Okay, so they two malefics, they are basically affecting the seventh house of the relationship of the business. So first of all, the 12th house represents the father's mother, the paternal and grandmother is represented by 12th house. So Saturn's transit over it would basically mean that there could be disease or some problem or suffering to the grandmother. There could be delay in closing the deal for the business, especially the business which is overseas, because the 12th lord Sun is there in the seventh house. So basically business is coming on account of some foreign connection, and Saturn transit over it would mean that there is delay in closing that business, delay in closing that agreement. There will be the lack of humbleness will cause lot of expenses. So Saturn, if you basically lose the humbleness, then basically the enmity between Saturn and Sun will trigger, and that will cause lot of expenses on account of Sun. Okay, you may take loan because sixth house involvement is there. Sixth house lorded by Saturn. So he will make you take loan for doing the business. That business may be related to overseas, and the disciplined spouse will basically prevent the diseases, because seventh house is basically affected by Saturn and Sun both. So if the spouse takes into account a very disciplined lifestyle, goes to gym at time, takes food at time, sleeps at regular interval of time, in a in a predictable manner. Saturn likes things to be very predictable. He likes one to do everything by the clock, wake up every day at the same point of time, sleep every day at the same point of time, and eat at every day at the same point of time. That kind of discipline Saturn wants. So if your spouse brings in that kind of discipline, he will be free from the disease or suffering during this time. For Libra people, so it's a very good transit for Libra people, because it is the Yoga Karak Saturn which is there in the sixth house. So he will basically make strategies to win over the enemies, and those new kind of strategies will be there because Sun 11th lord is there in the sixth house also. So fifth house connection with the sixth house, and which will basically bring the new strategies to win over the enemies. And he'll gain from the speculative business because fifth and 11th house involvement is there. There could be disease to the elder brother because 11th lord represents Sun represents the 11th lord. 11th lord is for elder brother, and Saturn's transit will basically bring some kind of suffering to the elder brother. Use of novel strategies to win over the enemies, and there could be gain of ancestral property because Saturn is involved. Saturn is the lord of fourth house, and the 11th lord Sun is involved, and they both are there in the sixth Upachaya house. So there could be gain out of the paternal or ancestral property, or simply on account of the house which is old. Coming to Scorpio, for Scorpio it is the lord of third and fourth house in the fifth house, and Sun is the lord of 10th house in the fifth house, and they both are actually affecting fifth house. Fifth house is not a good placement for both of them, so there could be some suffering to the kids. On account of kids, there could be some problem. They may get fever because of Sun, and that fever may be prolonged because of Saturn. There could be delay in getting pregnancy because Sun, too much heat in the fifth house, and Saturn's impact over it will basically uh, make the pregnancy very delayed. Okay, delay in getting promotion and awards. Again, fifth house also represents your recognition in the society. for the work that you do. You may expect some reward or some recognition, promotion, but all those things will be delayed because of Saturn's transit over it. Your charm will not work. You'll have to work hard because the fifth house, no matter how much shiny you are, but your charm will not work. There could be tiring journeys for the work because Saturn is also lording over the third house. It's the third lord also for the short term journeys. And since Saturn is over there and Sun is over there, so those journeys would be related to the work, and they would be very tiring to the person. Okay, and there would be new initiatives at the work because third house is also for initiatives. So there will be a lot of initiatives to the work, and those initiatives will make you work hard, and on account of those initiatives you may like ignore your kids, so that kind of scenario is possible. Coming to Sagittarius people, for Sagittarius, Saturn represents rules the second and third house in the fourth house, and Sun is the lord of ninth house in the fourth house. So basically, there could be problem with the father also because Sun is the Karaka of father. Also, he is the lord of ninth house, and Saturn, and being involved in the fourth house, it represents that. The problem could be related to mother also because fourth house involvement is there, so problem to both the parents is possible during this time. There could be general lack of comfort because fourth house is the bhava of the comfort, and two malefics over there, Sun was already there and Saturn also going out there, will bring out more of a discomfort in the person. The person may take long pilgrimages because Sun rules the ninth house of temples and spiritual retreats, spiritual journeys, and Saturn's third lord in the over the fourth house will basically mean those journeys are very long term. Okay, very long stays are going to be there. Okay, but those journeys will be fruitful because Sun is the ninth house lord, okay, of Bhagya. So those journeys will be very fruitful. There could be discomfort from the spicy food. Sun represents the spicy food, and they're in the fourth house with Saturn. So if the food is very spicy, then there could be discomfort because of that, and there could be problem arising from the use of scathing and commanding speech. Okay, Saturn represents the scathing speech, like bad speech, and Sun represents the commanding speech. So Saturn's quality over the Sun will basically mean that there could be problem because of your speech, because second house involvement is there. Okay, and if you use the speech which is very humble, okay, not very commanding, okay, then in that case it'll be good for you. It'll be you will basically avoid the problems on account of your speech. So basically this, the tongue represents basically two things. It represents the sense of taste as well as the way you speak. So if you control just your tongue, you'll control the lot of problems in your life. Okay, bad taste, like going with less spicy food, which is more, which is better for your stomach, better for your body, and also going with the humble speech, non-commanding, egoless speech will basically be good for you. Capricorn. So for Capricorn people, it's the Lagna Lord and second house Lord, which is there in the third house, and Sun is the Lord of eighth house, which is there in the third house. Okay, and being a malefic, both Saturn and Sun, they are good in the third house. Okay, so basically the patience and humility will bring sudden rise of power. Suddenness is involved because Sun is the eighth house Lord, and patience and humility is involved because Saturn is over there. Saturn, as soon as you become humble and you become you bring out the humility inside you, you will reach the power because Sun represents the power, and they both are there in the third house, which is the Upachaya house. They are ready to give you the power. You just have to bring the harmony between Saturn and Sun at this point of time. There would be sudden opportunities due to hard work. So this suddenness is coming out of the eighth house lordship. There could be health issues due to many initiatives. So third house is for the initiatives, and malefics over there would mean that you will you will be involved in a lot of initiatives which will basically exhaust you. Okay, because Saturn is not only the Lagna Lord, it is the second house Lord also, and in connection of second and third house Lordship will is basically a Maraka combination. So it will bring, it will do something bad for your health on account of this Maraka combination. The person will be full of initiative to gain something unknown. So the person may not have the exact idea, exact plan of what is going to happen, but he'll be like totally involved in something, just to be sure. Like he may not be sure of what he wants, but he knows that something good will come out of it. So that attitude you will see during this time in Capricorn people. Coming to Aquarius, so for Aquarius, it is the 12th Lord and the Lagna Lord in the second house, and Sun is the 7th Lord in the second house. Okay, so if you combine all these functional karakattvas, what we can get is that there could be loss in the business due to commanding business partner. Why commanding business partner? Because 7th house represents the business partner, and Sun is over there, so he'll be very commanding. Okay, so Sun's power is very commanding, and there could be loss of business because Saturn represents the 12th house also. 12th house of loss and expenses. So there could be a lot of expenses in the business, and it bring humility to the way one deals with the world, because 7th house also means the way you deal with the world. So if you bring humility in the way you deal with the world, it will be good for you. It will be good for your wealth. It will be good for your health also, because Saturn rules over the Lagna also. It's a Mool Trikona, is Aquarius. So your health will improve if you deal with humility with the world. Bring patience in relation to marriage, because 7th house is for marriage also, for your wife also. So whatever you have to deal with in your marriage, bring humbleness, bring perseverance, and bring the humility in the relation, in dealing with the wife, because your wife will be very egoistic. The 7th house Sun being over there in the second house, there could be expenses on account of spicy food. And not just spicy food, Sun represents something which is very rejuvenating. So rejuvenating herbs or supplements, there could be expense on account of that. And lack of humility will bring trouble to the marriage, because then the lack of humility will basically um, uh, be in clash with Sun over here, and that will basically ruin the marriage. Then the last sign, Pisces. So for Pisces, it is the 6th Lord in the Lagna, and it is the 12th and 11th Lord in the Lagna, Saturn. And they both are ruining the Lagna. So there will be predominance of Vata and Pitta kind of disease, like airy disease, a lot of gas, and Kapha and Pitta disease, acidity could be there, fever could be there, and Saturn Sun, they both basically are bringing out some or the other kind of disease in the person. There could be investment in the assets by taking loans. So why loans? Because 6th Lord Sun is involved, and 12th Lord Saturn is involved, and 11th Lord Saturn is involved. That means Saturn will basically do the investment, but since Sun is over there, the person will go and take the loan because he doesn't have enough money. Just like you do, spend on your home, your flat, by taking loan. There could be trouble due to powerful enemies. Sixth house represents the enemies, and Sun being the lord of that, you can expect what level of enemies will be there, and those enemies, they will cause the loss to the person. There will be time keeping at the work. So sixth house is also for the work that you do, your job, your office, and Saturn's transit over it will basically bring in new kind of schedule, and everything will be very very tight, and they will be keeping time for each and every task. So basically, some kind of strictness will be there at the workplace, and the person will be very disciplined in taking the body care and the gym. That possibility is there because Saturn is the karaka of doing the discipline. So the person will be very disciplined in in going to gym or taking the care of himself. If he doesn't do, then it'll do more harm to the self. So basically all these impacts you can see in the Pisces people. So this is how we covered all the 12 ascendants for people who have Sun in Pisces, and if Saturn transits over that Sun, these are the results that one can expect. Om Namo Narayana.